So, it's currently 2022. I am just editing a video of loads of footage that I made in 2021, where I built a recording studio. And I'm really happy with it. When I say recording studio, I mean here is my recording gear. And I'm currently just editing using my Mac. I can record my drum kit using that, which is nice. Yeah, but this is my studio. Basically, the idea of my studio is I built a room inside a room, and none of the internal part of the room, none of the internal walls and ceiling and floor of the whole thing touches the external wall. So it's like a room literally built inside a room, and that is the only way that I've come across that you can make soundproofing possible. You know, none of this egg box nonsense. I love the fact that that's a wives' tale that people literally believe just because they've been told, and then I meet people that have actually stuck egg boxes to their whole walls in a room and then going, why is it not working? You know, it's hilarious. We do that with our lives quite a lot, don't we? Where people tell us nonsense and we believe it. Anyway, so yeah, this project took me a long time. Yeah, I think it was December, late November maybe, 2020. After the lockdown, I was quite bored. Not bored, frustrated. That's it, because I couldn't really do much playing. I was working from home. I was working about 20 hours a week, doing recording and production stuff and video editing for a job I was doing, and in the same room that is also mine and my wife's bedroom, and you know, she worked from home during all the COVID time. That was also her desk that all my music nonsense was on. You know, slightly stressful. I couldn't really do any playing because we've got 3 kids in the house, and through a lot of that time they were at home being homeschooled. One of them was really little. But doing this project was a really good fun thing for me to do because I was able to do it as a way of just getting away from my family, because I love being a dad, but that was quite full on and intense, and you just have to have a breather, and because it was lockdown, wasn't really able to go anywhere. So this studio is built in my garage, and here's a picture of my garage. I'm really pleased with it, with what I made from the garage, but you can see that the garage is just full of toot. Quite a big garage. I tried to leave it so that there'd be enough space. Here's a little diagram of sort of the diagram that I tried to make, so that I had a little bit of garage area at the front, so that the front of the garage could open and close, and still look like a garage. But probably 2/3 to 3/4 of the garage became the studio, you know. So, and it's soundproof. So pleased about that. Nice. Anyway, enjoy the video. I nearly finished phase number 1 of my project of turning this garage into a recording studio. I'm going to explain what I've done. This stuff, which is called Tech Sound, big rolls of it, and I've sliced it into bits. You'll see there's a slice of it there, and I shoved it between the joists using plywood. So can you see all this? There you go. And then here I filled it with mineral wool, and I've just stuck some plastic sheeting up just to hold the dust, just so it doesn't get too dusty and bad in here. Got a little bit more work to do on just filling around the edges, but if you can see, that's basically phase number 1.
Okay, here we are. Here's the studio as it's done. What you'll see is that I fixed up a load of plywood to the ceiling, and you can see the overhang there to like this extra layer, and of course under there between the joists is loads of rock wool, and on top of that is the Tech Sound 100 stuff that I've put between the joists, and of course all of the joists are stuffed with rock wool as well. And so all around got a bit of overhang, just to sort of cup up the sound really. Yeah, and I've got just this little bit over here to do. There's a bit of a gap here, but I mean obviously you've got Tech Sound there, and I'm going to fill that in this morning. And also the other cool thing that I've done is I've started building a wall. Would you believe it? I had my neighbour stop to help me, but then he wasn't able to stop responding to my messages. So I thought, well, I'll do this myself, because he was like, he works in dread. That's a bit of a dodgy bit, but hopefully no one will know. Yeah, so here we go. And then I've been cutting these joists, because they'll be the roof as well when I've done that. So I'm quite excited. Really getting there. And obviously I've hung this stuff here to the walls. This is just normal mass loads of vinyl that I got from a guy in Brighton. And then between the walls, you might not be able to see it, I've got quite a big gap, and I've stuffed a load of this rock wool between there as well. You might be able to see something down here. Don't know if you can see it, but yeah, just about see there's a load of rock wool stuff behind there. And what I did is I used these. So I hammered in, well, I put some nails into some wood, but then into the wood I sort of hammered it against the wall, and then made the exact markings for where the wood, where the screws were touching. And then I put some plugs in the wall, used loads of glue on the plugs just to make sure they're extra firm. And then when I put this against the wall, I was able to just screw them in, and they hold them up really nicely. I'm hoping that that's what I'll be able to do up here. I've done the holes, as you can see, there and there and there. You have to go through the Tech Sound to see that one. I'm hoping today to hang a sheet along here, and then I'll do like 2 or 3 layers. I mean, depending on how much I can do. That's exciting, isn't it? Cool. Okay, after a long weekend, I've managed to do loads more on my project. This section, doing the walls, has taken me so long, but you can see over there, it's pretty high now. Pretty high. Gone a bit wonky at the top, so I'm going to have to level that out. And then what I need to do, I started on this corner, really happy with what I did here, and I'm going to build that up so it's the same height as everything else as my next thing. I've got light, which is good. I've got a neighbour who's let me run an extension lead from my house through their garden, which is really great. But yeah, really happy with this. This is pretty solid. Right, give it a kick, give it a wiggle. Solid as. Really happy about that. So yeah, I'll be building this wall up tonight. Like I said, so it's as high as that, and this is where the door's going to go. And then I've yet to decide what to do about this corner. I've had to buy another roll of MLV, which is ridiculous, because I managed this week to just hang all of this. I'm really happy about that. And what I'll be doing, you can see there's an overhang, which is great, and I'll be pinning the I've got these things here, can't remember what they're called, which is ridiculous, but I'll be pinning them up and using those to also hang up and just fix the overhang, so there's just less chance of sound escaping through the roof, which is really good. I'm really happy about it. So yeah, you can see I probably just need to order, I don't know, about 50 more blocks or something. Woohoo! I'm going to count them now. Bye!
Right, here goes, it's a little update. I had a massive tidy up in here last night. But really pleased with how I've got on. Last night I managed to put up the plasterboard. And in the middle just put some sealant, squished it all together. It's quite hard because it's pinning up a load of MLV, so it's pinning up the top level of the MLV. It's not strong enough to pin it all up, and yeah, that's the top done. I'm quite happy. Got a new load of bricks coming today, and loads of space over here. Got one board left over. I'm not really the kind of person that measures stuff, to be honest. So yeah, happy with that. And then next stage is to finish off the walls and then start on the door frame. Ta-da!
Well, here's the next video. I bought some more rock wool, and all of the brickwork is complete. A little bit wobbly, but I'm happy with it. And here is the frame. Well, the bit where the door's going to go. You can see it's not exactly perfect, but the 2x4s that will make the frame up, I'll put mortar around it. This is the inside, pretty dark inside, and this will be the eventual roof. At the moment it's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And I'll probably need about another 12. These weren't cheap either, these bits of wood, so that's a shame. They're 2x5s apparently, and yeah, I'm really pleased with them. And also I've just been getting that on the back of there ready for my baffle board. That's most of the work I've done on the baffle board. I don't know if I've done a video on that already. And I've marked out on the wall out there where it will hang using that. So I stuck that in the hole in the wall, which is through there somewhere, from the back, and then just drew around it, used it as a sort of a stencil guide. So I'm going to be able to drill in some brackets. And that'll be great. Yeah. Anyway, I've only come here to get my saw, which I've left somewhere. So yeah, I'm quite pleased though. I've actually got quite good at block work. It's the bottom which is a bit wonky, because obviously I was learning as I was going. But then, you know, the top bit is pretty tight. So yeah, nice. New update. I have officially made myself a doorway. Would you believe it? Kept the fire on all night because it was cold last night, and I wanted to make sure the mortar worked. But can you see? This is a fence post, and from the other side, might be able to see. Look, ta-da! Not really, can you? There you go. I'm going to put another bit of 2x4 there. So that's a fence post here, and then this one here is just a 2x4 that I've used. And I've basically, what I did is I put you know, big plugs, made the really deep ones into this wall and then into this wall here, and then you know, used glue, no more nails, stuck that in the holes, and then obviously it was all joined up in the right angle and everything, and then I stuck them in, and then I put loads of mortar between, and I just got it all so it was all completely balanced and you know, completely properly vertical using the spirit level. I'm really proud of it. So here we go. Getting there. But this is my roof, which isn't done yet. But a little hole at the back which I need to fill up. Fine. Okay, here we have the next layer of brickwork just along the top. I managed to get it really nice and you know, level, which is good. Still got to do the back here. Gonna get there eventually. I'm gonna do that side tonight, and this bit, once I finish that hole, that's the end of my electricity, unfortunately. So here we go. Da, 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 da. Puppy power. And I'm so pleased with my door frames, tell you. They're so cool. here goes. Had another great session in the garage last night. Managed to tidy up a bit more. And look at this. Here we are. It's the garage. And I managed to do this side. Woo! Not finished that bit though, because I've got to fill that hole up. Look at this. Woo. Just to raise the level, just that teeny little bit. And I'm quite pleased with what I've done. Quite pleased with myself. Got to use up these bricks to finish. Just to finish that gap over there. And I'm going to be making the ceiling. Woohoo! And I'm going to turn off this fire which has been on all night. Woohoo! You're doing really well. Okay. Just another look at my amazing frames. Proud of myself there. Here we go, here's the ventilation system that I'm starting to do up. Basically, I've cut out some piping and that's going to go above this amazing stuff that I've done in here. So you see, I've taken the wall, the bits of 2x4, and I've put sealant in between them and then nailed them all, screwed them all together, and that's going to be that's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that's only 7 bits. Got quite a lot more to do, just resting them on some more 2x5s over there, and then hopefully this will go basically up there over the top of the ceiling and then come out obviously about here, and that way it will take the air all the way at the front there. But I'm going to wrap it up in check sound, hopefully, and then of course, yeah, see what happens. So here we go, here's my beginning of my ventilation system. So that's hopefully still intact to the rest of it. I'll just put rock wool all around where it is. I'm going to wrap it in a layer of rock wool and I'm just going to fill that with mortar. Yeah, which is nice. A bit more. Okay, here we are. Here's the next sort of section. You see there's a lot less of this rock wool because, amazingly, I finished all that and the rock wool is all there behind this massive roof that I've made. So I've only done the roof up to about here, and basically the roof is all sort of full of all the gaps are full of sealant. You've done a pretty good job of getting the mortar sorted. I'm happy with that. Might need to just touch up this gap here, but mostly it's all pretty tight, mate. Look at that. Ooh. Yeah. And then, yeah, I'll probably need about 8 more planks, and then we'll be done. Ta-da! Okay, here we go. Here's the project as it is now. I've managed to finish doing up here, which is really cool. So take a look. Obviously everything's stuffed full. Got my ventilation thing sticking out here. And then I did all this last night. Just mortaring up to the edge. Used a combination of lots of sealant and then a bit of mortar around the edges to fill in a few little gaps. Same up here. There you go, nice and flush. Ta-da! I mean, it's not perfect, but that's alright. And then check out what I started doing on the floor. So just use batten, and underneath the batten I've got just a strip of this stuff,
And then got like 2 sheets of spongy floor mat just to go under it as well. It's sticking up a little bit over the batten, but I think that'll be all right. So, and I've sort of sliced the sort of rock wool into thirds, and hopefully that'll cover most of the space. You never know, it might not do, but we'll see. Party on!
Here we go. Here's my new floor. Managed to do that. Everything else is drying a bit, and I also added a bit of thingy here. Which is nice. Okay, here we go. 24th of April. And quite a lot of paintwork. Just get in there. Paintwork. Got the floor. Next job is to do the doors for the frame. And then this is the outside bit of the garage. Sounds different out here, that's for sure. Alright, party on.
Here we go. Just building a door frame here. So just use loads of 2x4s and just chop those out to make it nice and flush. What I'm going to do is going to stick some of this old flooring on it, just to sort of keep it in place, because it's quite flush at the moment. I don't want to disturb it. So, and then from there, you know, it's got all the correct angles and stuff. From there, I'll then just drill it all in, which is nice. And I've also put that up just to add an extra little bit of soundproofing. There you go, here's the door frame. What I did is I botched these on to keep it all flat once I measured it all out, and I've made the edges hang out over. I put some Mastilo loaded vinyl on the inside, and then underneath, of course, is just this stuff, plywood, which I've cut to size using my saw. And now it's really heavy, but I've also done some sealant just underneath the black stuff, rather than between the black stuff and the other wood, because I reckon that'll be alright. Yeah, and then all I've got to do is put another load of wood on top and take off these bits which I've done. I've also cut some holes to be able to put some really long torque screws through, so we should be good. There's my door, just need to sand it down. And here's the baffle board, which I haven't really done for a while. Just been sticking some more bits in it. I've got a hole in the end there, but really what I'm doing now is about to open this stuff up. This is sheep's wool. So I'm going to use this to insulate the inside. My mum's done a really good job of packing this for me, which is great. So yeah, I'm going to put this in there.
Here we go. Look at this. I've got a door. It's amazing. Look at this. And look, it opens and everything. Look, it totally opens. Just like that. Look. So what happened is I met this guy at church. He's involved in the worship team. I'm involved in the worship team, but not in order to get a door. And he happens to be a builder that has experience doing soundproofing, which is just amazing. And yeah, he's helped me out. So he came this evening. I was struggling to get the door like flush and tight, and I just didn't know how I was going to do it.
without mashing it up. So you see here I've mashed it up a bit here. But he's got an electric plane tool, so he was able to just get it really smooth, and he helped me hang all these things, and I am totally excited. And yeah, and we just raised the bar slightly here just to get it high enough for my carpet, and I put sealant under there, and I've summed it up really quickly, but it actually took us about 2.5 hours. So, and I feel very, 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 very blessed to have met him. So there you go. Boom. Here we go. Got a new section of wall. Managed to finish that off as well. So, and I've got to do a bit more wall up there. And then Bob's your girlfriend, which is nice. Yeah. Nearly done. Okay, here we go. It's a while since I've done a video, so here we come. They're going in here. Now, first thing I'll show you is here. I've managed to hang this on the wall. This is the baffle board, and it took me quite a while to stick it on some blocks and raise it up so it was exactly level with. You might be able, probably won't be able to see. Maybe you can. With the pipe. Pipes there. I've covered it all in, this silicone adhesive, sealant and adhesive stuff, which is really good. But yeah, I mean, there might be gaps over there. So what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to make a sort of a bit of wood under here, like a ledge. And then I'm going to fill up to here the whole area with mortar, just to add a little bit more quality of, stopping the sound from spilling out of that pipe, because yeah, we don't want that to happen. But yeah, managed to do that. My neighbour Aid helped me to get this in position. He held it up whilst I we shimmied it together and used little planks to get it in position, and then once I did that, drilled the holes out and put some clamps in. It was actually pretty good. Just 2 clamps on the wall was holding it up, but then I put 2 more underneath. And then, yeah, last night I managed to managed to get this on. This took ages. It's my 3rd attempt where I finally did it. I've got some really, really deep screws that probably go up to about here on these, and the same for this in there. And then screws probably go into there, and then of course lots of mortar. I've got a bit of a crack here, so I need to work out what I'm going to do about that. I don't know why it's there, but I'm going to put more mortar on top and just patch it up probably. And then last night, what I did, I put that in between on the night that I did these 2 posts. I put this one in and just squidged it in. I used a hammer to just knock it down to the floor, and I just put some mortar on the bottom, so it's sat on some mortar, but it's really squidged in because it was quite tight between the 2 posts, so I don't feel like I need to do, if I give it a kick it's not going to move anyway, look, because it's sort of blocked in by the mortar. And then last night what I did is I got this one and I stuck this on the top. I put all sealant around this, 2 screws on the top, and then I put this in here. This isn't what's the word, it's not level yet, and what I'm going to do tonight, the next moment I get, is I'm going to chisel into here, and then I've got a little clamp, and then I'll make it so it's perfectly level, and then I'll get to put the last load of brickwork on the top. And as you can see, I've done all this piping. It's sort of, I might do something here, but generally it's covered up, and I've put sort of the black MLV, sort of attached it to the wall, and then also the ceiling, just to I don't know if it'll really contain the sound, but it'll sort of
you know, it'll help with resonance and stuff. Yeah, and then I've just put 2 blocks up there. They seem to go in quite nicely. So, yeah. So yeah, the last thing, just like I say, just get that tight with the clamp. Then I've got this. What's it called? It's a big block with a big pole down the middle. That's a lintel. There you go. And that'll go on top of there. And then when I get the lintel, I'll just put mortar on the top and treat it like one really long brick. I'll need to find someone to help me with that, of course. And then yeah, then when I've done that, it'll be party time, because then I'll just put more bricks on the top, bit of brickwork. Yeah, and that's it. Nothing's actually been happening in the actual studio. It's just a studio. Nothing else going on in here. But it's still looking pretty cool. You know, there's my speakers, just keeping out of the way of the elements in here. I'm going to need to put silicone up. You know, there's a bit of contracting here. I'm sure it's still airtight, you know, but at the edge here, just need to put silicone all round. Might even put some coving up at some point. But yeah, that's where I am. And I've had the worst hay fever in the world. The thing that's taken the most time is actually clearing up after myself. That takes like ages. So yeah, done. Okay, here we are. It's well, it's coming to like near the 20th of June, and I did this last night. Me and Aid, my neighbour, put this lintel up. You can't see much of it because it's all been covered in mortar from the bricks that I put on top of it. But basically from there's a lintel that goes all the way to there. Just one long concrete beam that's got a big metal rod down the middle of it. And that's sitting over the top of the now well-made door frame that I finished off yesterday as well. Right, here's the next bit. So what I've done, I've put some clamps and I bought some 1x4, so the 1x4 can sit flush against the interior frame. Also, all of this is drying up now. I don't know if I've shown you this already, but there you go. That's what we've done up there. So it's completely finished. Yeah, 1x4, stuck it in there. And what I've done is this is a bit lower than this one. You see that? This is a bit higher. This one's a bit lower. So it means I've had enough room to stick in a lump of wood just there, just nail it in, which meant I've been able to use it to sort of get this 1x4 plank in all the way down there, and then put a bracket there. And then I've done the same, exactly the same up here, which is good. And I've stuffed extra rock wool around here behind them. And then I've just cut this out. And can you see I've stuffed loads of rock wool up in the cavity there. And what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to stick that up there. The way it goes best, I suppose. There you go. And then what I've got to do is screw this down somehow. And I might not even need to use any you know, brackets. But I probably will have to use brackets. Anyway, so I'm going to screw that in. Hope that it stays. Bye. The moment of truth, managed to buy myself some kiln drying sand. What I've done is I've stuck some like tape all around the edge of this bag, and I've put a hole in there which you might be able to see. Drilled it a bit too high and then had to do it a bit lower down. So moment of truth, let's get the kiln dried sand in the door. 3, 2, 1, here it is. Put it in there, little cup full here, and then just put it in. And hopefully it goes. Oh yeah, I can hear it falling down. That's exciting. So just keep doing that over and over again until it's gone. can hear it falling down. That's exciting. I hope there are no big holes in the doors, so it ends up all on the floor, like it just falls through. I can hear it falling into the door. That's so cool. Right,
Here's my door, and I've been using this electric planer that I did purchase to to plane it down to get the edges of the the plywood in line with the actual boards, the 2x4s, 4x2s that I put in. I'm pretty happy with that, and now I'm going to stick it in that hole, see if it fits. So here we have a door that has been hung. Check it out, like a hung parliament. Ta-da! I'm really happy with it, but of course it's really hollow, so I need to do something. Also, I don't know if I've shown, I've done some clamps, and also I've put these, I've chiselled these out. Oh, still a bit soft there, just probably not the best thing, but yeah, I've chiselled out that and then put these clamps here, and then started drilling these clamps in here as well, done the same, because with this I'm going to need to, and of course there's a clamp up there, I'm going to need to make this all the way so that I can put clamps on, things that are similar to this, onto here, but they pull away, and then pull a bracket so that the door can shut tight. And then yeah, I'm just doing another bracket up here as well, just because I think that'd be wise, because this piece of timber has been is going to be a bit of a problem, because I've screwed it into the thing quite a lot, but you know, it's going to have quite a lot of force on it with the sand door. So I've also done a massive bracket here, and can you see the hinges are sort of halfway between the 2x4 and halfway between the fence posts, so it's a real difficult one. Yeah, and this one's just going to need more support, so I'm a bit maybe going over the top, but yeah, that's why I'm doing this. So yeah, I'm going to put some handles on so that it can be open and closed, and yeah, here we are. Also, I've got a bit of a problem. I've been putting more thingies on here, but now it's sort of stiff, as if that they're causing some sort of problem or resistance, so I don't really know what to do about that. Bye.
okay, here we go. Look at this. It's my door. Ta-da! Door number 1, door number 2.
And in this door,
We have a nice seal all the way around. I've done that. Might need to just fill that crack a bit. But that's just from the indent. But the downer is I've actually run out of sealant, and I'm going to need to put another side up here, which is a bit of a sad thing. So we'll see how we get on. Yeah, pleased with it. Here we go. It's well dark in here, isn't it? I wonder why that is. Well, I'll show you why. Because it's the outside door. Ta-da! I've just opened the latch that I put on this morning. And what I've got here is this little latch system. Amazing. You can adjust it and all sorts. And that just sits there. And then I've got this little, this little clamp that I've had to put on a random bit of wood. I was just doing that to try out, to see what it looks like. I might tidy it up to make it look nice. But it's just literally one screw, and then 2 screws bolting that little thing in, and then I'll put a few more down there. But yeah, that's it, totally shut. I've got to put just a few more, and then also I've put another bit of wood here so that this outer piece of pine here has got something in front of it, because otherwise it's just a thin piece of pine with, to be honest, some gaps like here, for example. So this just stops
it just gives an extra bit of density for sound. Any sound that is creeping through the gap on this door frame just means there's just more stuff in the way, and it's all sealed up as well. So, you know, enjoyed cutting that, and I did the same to the bottom. And then, depending if there's much sound coming out, I might do the same to the other sides, just to give it extra oomph. I can do it to this easily. We'll just see what happens. Woohoo! Right, and then once I get the last of those put in, then it's time for the sound test. Yo! Okay, so this is the sound test, just with the phone. I'd love to have someone else playing whilst outside, but it's not going to happen. So here we go, inside. That's the kit inside. There you go. There's most of it there. The high tom hasn't got skin on it yet, but I'm sure we can work that around. Just one more look. I did all of this. Can you believe it? Something else. Right, so I'm going to put this here. I've got a little. There you go. This is the recording device. I'm going to play really quickly with the door open. Then I'm going to close everything. So that was me playing like with the doors open. Now this is me playing with everything shut. Might take about 40 seconds for me to shut the doors. Right, there you go. That's the recording. I have no idea how that was going to be. Let's check it out. Alright then, so that was the sound test. Now I need to find a volunteer to play the drums for me, and I'm going to walk around the village, I suppose, as it happens, and as someone else is playing, and just sort of maybe help me to think about what else I could do to make it even more soundproof. Because you could definitely hear something, but, you know, it wasn't loud. Okay, you're back to this clip of me. This is now, like I say, I think I finished the project in like June, July 2021. It's like May 2022 right now. The few changes I had to make to the ceiling. I didn't get to do much recording or playing or whatever in here at first, because where I had the
the beams, the 2x5s, across the gaps between, as much sealant as I could try and stick in, just wouldn't work. I'd had rock wool dust falling through the cracks, and that didn't work. So literally all I did, I put duct tape to try and block the gaps, but still I'd be working in here. I'd be like, I'm definitely inhaling some sort of rock wool dust. It's not good. So eventually what I did on the ceiling, you see this thin layer of plywood. I put some plastic sheeting. You can see this plastic sheeting here. I'm quite, it's one massive great big sheet from B&Q all the way across, stuck it to the ceiling, and then I just put this, very thin, I think it's like 6mm, maybe 5mm ply, stuck it to the top, and I've had no issues with that. The other thing that didn't go very well was the sort of ventilation system that I mentioned, all that pipe work. You see this hole here, X-hole, that's all filled up with mortar now, quite far back. Basically, it went all the way over the top and out the front. Instead, I built another baffle board right here, and so the air comes out here, and it goes down and then up and then down and then up and then down and up, and it's got loads of sheep's wool insulation, and then it goes straight out the back here, out the back wall of the garage with a pipe, and it's well concreted, so there's no gaps or anything, and it's great. You can be playing drums to your heart's content. Or I had a friend of mine come around and play drums as loud as they possibly could, and I stood out the back. Just couldn't hear anything, I practice saxophone in here, at 11 at night. No one can hear anything. It's great. So that's basically the only things that didn't work. Also just built myself a little sort of ledge, I don't know what you call it, like a little worktop. Looks a bit messy, and this is the power system that I use. So this is a power inverter, cost me probably about 250 quid. It powers my my MacBook and all of my sort of sound gear, which is really good. And I just use like a massive battery. I've got another one. I just charge them up at home when they start to go a bit flat. I've got my sort of use this as storage space under here as well, which is just for my sort of PA gear. But I couldn't. The power here isn't good enough for me to use that. Anyway, I've been waffling. I hope you enjoyed the video. It's a real pleasure to have done it, especially considering I've never done anything before. But I'm honestly not showing off. As you can tell, it's not aesthetically an amazing project. It doesn't look like the work of a master builder, as in it's not all neat and tidy. I could get somewhere in to do some plastering, but then I'd lose space, wouldn't I? But all in all, I'm happy with it. And I've sort of make the video because I want for people to be encouraged to see, I had no skills really in building, not boasting, but I'm trying to suggest that anyone, if you really put your mind to it, honestly, I'm really dumb, like when it comes to practical things. So, given the sort of the time and the space in my brain to actually consider and like mull over actually what I'm doing, I was able to achieve something, which is good. So you can too. And I'm sure there are people more practically minded out there in the world than I am. So, yeah, great. Party on.